Don't be scared of us, can't be defined. Hands never sharp on CP time. I just wanna dance on CP time. How many of them did I leave behind? How many times did I make them know why they wanna disrupt, kill my flow? How many times did I switch time zone, but the LD will always be home?
And what an aspiration that is. It's something that you see ASOS is all over the world, really doing everything we can, 7 days a week, to try and live up to be the destination for fashion-loving 20-somethings. Now, as you can see, we've got, and many of you may know ASOS already, global business, billions of visits to our site and app each year, many millions of customers. But social media is really where the customers are these days. It's shaping how customers interact with retailers, and it shapes our strategy all the time. Now, there are a few things that ASOS really does distinctively, and I'll talk about the curation and creation of fashion and content in a minute. But, of course, 238 countries delivering that great fashion every day, every year. Now, over the past couple of years, we've really been laser focused on getting back to our true essence. The pandemic, a disruptive time for everybody. Fashion retail and broadened us out, became, carrying lots of different stock. Everyone needed clothes, etc., to buy online. And we found ourselves carrying a lot of stock that wasn't necessarily at our core essence. So it's been a very focused couple of years. We've got a great selection of trend-led, fashion-led product. It's all about the best, most distinctive and best product on our site. And it's about delivering that to our customers in a way that they can enjoy. Apart from that, the social media aspect is kind of influencing how customers are interacting with us, like I said. And it's very much about fashion and retail kind of colliding, and entertainment and retail colliding. And it's this shot of fashion entertainment that's something really important. Now, I'm delighted to say that we're launching our third brand campaign in the past 12 months on Monday. So look out for some great content from us coming forward. Now, in terms of what we do for our brands, it's the curation of these great brands, these global brands that we're really lucky and grateful to work with. We've got lots of different product that we carefully curate, the best, most fashionable product from all of these brands across sportswear, fashion, and face and body, but also in conjunction with what we create as ASOS. Now, we've got a bunch of our own brands that we own, and that's really the creation aspect, where taking that fashion focus, creating what is relevant, creating this best trend-led product, and bringing that through into showcasing that in the content that we produce for our own brands, but also the third-party brands. Now, you can imagine with almost 800 brands on the site, we've got tens of thousands of product. There's a lot on there to look at, and it can become confusing for a customer. How do we get that in front of customers in a way that makes sense to them? So here you can see, there are a few ways I'm going to showcase to you here, and I'm going to discuss the first way in which we'll kind of shoot product. It's very much focused around a customer's fashion sense, their style, and also what is the occasion. So there are 5 different broad types that we look at here. And the first one is focused on a kind of broad fashion majority. This is fresh, it's quite commercial. You can imagine that this is on young, youthful, energetic people, like you can see in the pictures here. Next one is a little more innovative. Those maybe a little bolder, a bit more daring, spontaneous. Maybe willing to try something. It's people who are early adopters of fashion. And this kind of product, this kind of setting, these kind of models is what we'll use to showcase that. Slightly more feminine, chic, soft, elevated, different model selection, different pose selection. You can see this appealing to this kind of customer. And then back to more attitude with kind of lead singer energy, lead singer vibe. Aspirational, also quite bold, energetic, colorful, and these kind of elevated models that you see here. Or maybe just, you're out, it's glam, it's very luxe, sassy, sexy look and feel, and different setting, different models, and different backdrops. But we shoot all of these different types of styles to cater to a broad array of different customer tastes, different occasions. We do need to make sure that it all looks great together as well, though. And that's kind of one eye on that at all times when our teams are shooting this kind of product. You'll see owned brands, you'll see third-party brands all brought together in the way we showcase our product on site. But customers are becoming more and more demanding. In this ever-changing world, this social media-led world with their kind of expectations going through the roof, that's really where the kind of retail and the entertainment collides. And we have to do better. We need to bring this content to our customers. They expect to come to ASOS for their daily shot of fashion entertainment, and that's where we're producing this every day. In addition to what you see, the great content on our owned and operated site and apps, you see on socials, we're making heavy use of that too. So every day you're seeing, educational, inspirational content that's kind of helping give people ideas, teaching them about how to use GHD's new kind of styling brush. That, of course, I've got one at home. And, broad array of fashion and face and body product. What's the latest range? But, of course, ASOS's own tone of voice is quite particular and distinct. It's quite cheeky. It's a bit irreverent. It's a bit like how a 20-something would be speaking to their friend. And you combine that with a very distinct and clear point of view on fashion, and that's really how we get our fashion lens that we talk about. And this is how we really work with brands and help them win on ASOS. So in this case, you'll see Nike here, sportswear, performance-focused products and brand. Very, very unlikely you're going to see Nike styled and showing up like this on their own site or pretty much anywhere else. But this definitely appeals to the ASOS customer. They're looking how to style Nike in a fashion sense. And that's really where ASOS Media Group comes in. We're helping brands win on ASOS. That's our primary concern. And it's pulling together their objectives, their brand guidelines, and marrying that up with the kind of ASOS tone of voice, which we can then produce this content. But beautiful content, pretty pictures, great video, that really isn't that powerful on its own. We have to get that in front of the right people. And it's very much about looking at customers, looking at audiences. I'm sure we've all heard a lot today about first-party databases, the importance of targeting measurement, and hitting the objectives of brands to really help them win with the different retailer sites. And that's really the appeal of retail media. It's this closed-loop nature of what retailers can provide. And of course, ASOS is no different. We tend to focus more on the creative and really bring our team's kind of strengths to bear on the creative. But, with social media, we can put that in front of the masses. We can have really high funnel, upper funnel objectives reached by doing that. But also, it's very important to combine that in campaigns with very targeted messaging and bringing that content to the right people at the right stage of their shopping journey, whether it's in display ads or in email, push notifications, and so on. So to bring that to life a little bit better, I think I'll show you a couple of examples.
ITBOYBBNO$. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. I am HRM, the Gen Z Eminem. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right, baby, when it, boy, Jesus Christ.
Really huge FOMO. I mean, New York Fashion Week looks like a complete party. In this case, we sent a franchise, which we call ASOS RSVP, sent them off to New York with Tommy Hilfiger. The whole kind of purpose of this campaign was very much about elevation of the Tommy Hilfiger brand. It's a great brand, international brand, very fashionable. We had a lot going on there. Tommy Hilfiger had actually decommissioned Staten Island ferry, used it as a runway. You can see all the celebs there. We had an influencer, Harry, there interviewing Tommy Hilfiger himself, and they threw a kind of big style out at the Tommy Hilfiger HQ, which we filmed. We had an ASOS party, and a bunch of different pieces of content like this filmed by the team. Obviously, there's product involved. You see all of their new range, but it's very much about the elevation of the Tommy brand in this case. Slightly different focus here. Now, Gant is also a big heritage brand, global brand, but in this case, the product is the hero of the show. And, you know, Gant had a campaign where on their 75th anniversary, they've launched a menswear range to celebrate 75 years and really kind of honor their heritage, iconic fashion status there. It's the product kind of shows up really well. There's portraits there with traditional backdrop that makes the product really stand out. You know, the color looks amazing. And then in the video, you've got more of a dynamic urban cityscape that really also shows the product up really well. So product coming to the fore with Gant in this example. And Abercrombie, also a great fashion brand we've got here. And in this case, it was very much about creating a great juxtaposition of, you know, very studio kind of stylized type shoot with imagery that you might expect to see in a studio, you know, high fashion shots. And of course, that put up against a kind of autumnal park scene outdoor, you know, really good contrast there. Obviously, they're looking to showcase this fantastic, stylish product, but we've added a little bit of a fun spin on it. We found that our customers really love interacting and seeing the behind-the-scenes content. You can see the camera people kind of standing on boxes. They've got the dog along there with them as well, makeup being done, and we see such great resonance. So it's this kind of fashion, entertainment, retail kind of mixture of what's going on there. But really find that this social media element is kind of becoming more and more demanded by brands. Obviously, it's extremely impactful, and it's really great for brand positioning and kind of elevating product. But I'm going to get some of my colleagues on the stage with me now to actually talk through how the ASOS team actually does it. So will you please welcome, we've got Liv Stoddard, our fashion lead, we've got Imogen Cork, our creative lead, and Lauren Briley, our social media lead. Welcome. At least you can bring a little bit more glamour to the stage than I'm able to muster. So we're going to start with fashion, Liv. And I'd like to ask you just if you can tell us what makes fashion at ASOS so unique.
So it all starts with amazing product. At ASOS, we kick things off by collaborating closely with our in-house design and commercial teams to ensure that every piece of content we style and shoot and produce is aligned with our latest campaigns and styling guidelines, and also led us up to what our big trends or trends and big deals are like as a business. So fashion at ASOS, we kind of have like some brand pillars that we sort of consider in our approach to styling. So it's always original, fashion credible, expressive, authentic. It's not complicated, boring, safe, or conformist. And then these just help ensure that we stay aligned to our creative brand strategy and recognisably ASOS to our customers. So through unexpected product pairings, our original styling taps into our customers' adventurous spirit and confident attitude. And as we've got a unique ASOS approach that's all about freshness and excitement. Consistency is key to making our styling look and feel like ASOS, and key pieces come to life when styled in an original way. And then this ensures that the look feels on brand and makes us instantly recognisable to the customer. We always aim for that cool factor that inspires our customers, and then there are some considerations that ensure we get it right. So casting is crucial to the success of our shoots. I think you saw some examples of our brand partnership shoots, and it's really ensuring that the casting is on point, otherwise it can be detrimental to landing that fashion authority and authenticity to the customer. And then when it comes to hair and makeup, we always look to the 20-something and Gen Z customer for inspiration on the newest hair, makeup and nail trends, which are then built into looks and work in synergy with the fashion. So everything from the fashion, the casting, and then the smallest nail art details are all key to making our fashion so unique.
Sounds like the ASOS HQ, looking at the the teams coming in the mornings. And what role does fashion team play in our brand campaigns, and specifically in ASOS Media Group's campaigns with brands? I mean, how do you style these third-party brands?
So at ASOS, we're lucky to have our own in-house styling team who work on all creative fashion content across the business. So whether we're working on a campaign with one of our partner brands, Adidas, Nike, CK, Ralph Lauren, GHD, I think you showed Abercrombie, Gant was like a more recent one we did, or styling a big talent for one of our ASOS own brand campaigns. Our goal is to inspire our fashion-loving customer with our unique product offering. So from sports brands to face and body brands, the 600 plus, I think, brands, might even be more than that we sell are as important as our own brand product, as it's what sets us apart from our competitors. We collaborate closely with our creative teams, acting as the bridge between our commercial and product teams to our customers, and the inclusion of hype and exclusive brands plays an integral part in this. We want to position ourselves to the customer as having the best brand offering, yet remaining authentic in our approach. So in short, our role is to showcase the best product with the best creative direction, using the right models or talent, and always at the perfect moment. So then in our approach to styling across the board, there's a few kind of essential principles that we think about. So diversity and inclusion is always at the heart of everything we do. Fashion credibility, we're confident in our fashion authority, and that's why brands want to work with us. Relatability, we want our customer to see themselves in our styling. Inspiration and innovation, so we're always looking to impart like new ideas. And then authentic, so being true to our ASOS creative brand strategy is key.
Thanks very much, Liv. So Imogen, onto the creative. I mean, how do we apply this fashion lens that we talk about with brands? And specifically, what's it like working with the heritage brands or the big global brands who have their own brand identity? And of course, we have to find a way to add ASOS's influence on the creative.
For me, working within collaborations and partnerships is probably one of the most exciting creative challenges. But you get really amazing results. It's really thrilling how you can connect two brands together and, explore how we can bring those visions together to create something really, truly meaningful and impactful and unique. I thought maybe what I'd do is I would say how we work with our brands before why they work with us. Before we go into any collaboration, we do a deep dive into the brand that we're going to be partnering with. We look at their core values, what's their tone of voice, what's their brand pillars. We really want to make sure that we're understanding the brand that we're working with. And then we are able to kind of find that sweet spot that is where we align, that kind of like lovely gooey center. But then it also highlights where we're different and where we're unique, and also taps into this kind of like whole unique area that we can, explore together. So alongside that, we're presented with a brief and objective for what we want to achieve for this moment. Is it a brand awareness? Is it a new product drop? And then finally, we want to know what's happening culturally for our customer and make sure that is also playing a key part in any collaboration we do. So it's really important that we are looking into what is important to our Gen Z consumer base. So all of this together really helps us to figure out the position that we want to take for the campaign. It helps build that strategy, which is the foundation for any project that we work on. And it means that any creativity which is then born from there has integrity, which is essential for connecting with our customer. So then in terms of what do the brands gain, I like to think when they're partnering with us, they're not losing their brand image, they're just gaining a new perspective on it. They're able to reach a new audience, obviously. They can enhance their creative output. We can bring a fresh energy to their existing brand image. And I think especially when we're talking about heritage brands, we're able to show them in a way that they maybe aren't able to themselves. So yeah, we're known for our playful spirit and our position at the heart of Gen Z culture. So we give our brands the opportunity to tap into that and directly connect with a younger audience. So yeah, this can help them refresh their image. Maybe they feel more dynamic, a little bit more current. So yeah, that demographic is all about authenticity. So yeah, we want to make sure that we are doing something that doesn't feel forced or misplaced, but we have to know where we're coming from to know where we want to go. And then in terms of fashion is in everything that we do. And I think when we're talking about the big global brands like Nike, Adidas, when we're referencing sportswear, we're able, again, to show those brands in a completely different way than they are able to themselves. We can show them through the ASOS fashion lens. So again, they're connecting with a whole new audience, which is showing them how they can style their clothes and how they can get more out of them. So it's all about finding that perfect balance between all of those things, finding the perfect balance between the two identities, but then we can create something, really unique, meaningful.
Thanks very much. Cool. And in terms of how those two things both feed into social media, Lauren, obviously we've got another great heritage brand on screen here, but with regards to social media, such a huge part of ASOS's audience's lives, how are we looking to use this important channel in communicating to this audience?
Yeah, so I think it goes without saying that any successful social strategy is about distribution and engagement. But more than that, for me, we have to be culturally and socially relevant. To do this, like, my team hate me because I'm constantly challenging, why would our audience care about this? What is it that they would care about? And I think when we do challenge that, we get to a point where we're delivering something with purpose and intent, and it feels a lot more relevant, and therefore something that our audience can engage with. Two really simple examples are Taylor Swift and Chappell Roan were both touring over the summer. We knew culturally, for a 20-something fashion-loving audience, they're going to love that. How do we connect that to what we do? And all of a sudden, we've got a sweet spot for a content opportunity, because culturally, that's something that they care about. And for us, we can give it a fashion authority spin. And that just helps to keep us in the conversation. So it's applying those two elements. Additionally, working with creators keeps us within that conversation. I think we've all seen brands sometimes being on the outsides of conversation, and that sometimes can make you feel a little bit out of touch as a brand. But working with creators really embeds us, both on our own channel and from their channel point of view, into that culture. And taking it back to that relevancy point, it's not necessarily creators that are Gen Zers themselves. For example, we've just worked with Aki and Koyochi, who are a Japanese couple who are in their late 70s that do fit checks, some of you might see, daily. They're not within our target demographic, but our target demographic love them. Therefore, we love them, we invest in them, and we create content together that resonates with our target audience.
Thanks. And why is social media so important to ASOS and our customers, and what role do we see it playing?
I think for me, social, for me and the business, is really a playground for us to be bringing our brand to life. There aren't many channels, I think, and I would say that as a social lead, where you have the autonomy to bring your brand to life. What use is a brand strategy if you can't do exactly that and start to demonstrate what it is you stand for? So we do use social to champion the things that we care about. So Liv mentioned diversity and inclusion. That's super important to us. But at the minute, our biggest focus for those channels and the role of social is bringing it back to authority. And when we say authority, I mean fashion authority. That's a key objective for us. So previously, we used to refer to Instagram, the role of Instagram, as being our shop window. And actually, I challenged this because if we are wanting to become fashion authority leading, window to me, shop window suggests perhaps that we have been influenced rather than influencing, which is where we want to be. So actually, now we refer to Instagram to be the role of catwalk runway. So you should be able to take one look at our Instagram feed and you would know what the key pieces are for that season. And the objective really is that we start to, become the first place that you would go to for trend and inspiration. And not only from an ASOS design point of view, but, curating our third-party brands as well within that.
Cool. And then I can see we're out of time, but I want to just ask you about the Fashion Authority bit there. If you can give a kind of brief, how does that translate to our audience?
It's really hard to sometimes translate Fashion Authority to large-scale audiences. Not everyone consumes in the same way. So what we've done is broken that down into content pillars. So entertain, inspire, and educate. That gives us a vehicle to deliver Fashion Authority in more tangible ways. So entertain, for example, we've got a new content franchise at the minute called Versus, which sees our ASOS insiders take on a styling battle. So straight away, you can see how you break down something like styling a trend that could be quite daunting to some audiences, and you deliver that in an entertainment-first concept. It becomes a lot more tangible. And within that, within Inspire, we have a lot more of an editorial lens where we'll take campaign product-focused content, and we will speak to that in a more publisher-style element. So in the same way that Vogue will break down fashion, we're really aspiring to do that a lot more and add context, add depth, elevate that storytelling. We really can't assume that everyone just gets Fashion Authority.
Okay.
We have to demonstrate that.
Thanks so much. That's really helpful. And hopefully everyone can see like what we've shown on the slides today, that kind of coming to life a bit more and how the teams interpret that and put that into action. So thanks very much. I think, James, we've got coming on in a mo.
Well, at first, give ASOS a massive hand. Thank you. And quickly, because you've seen retail media from various vantage points in your career, done Humvee, Amazon, now ASOS. What's on your wish list of stuff that you would want us as an industry to get together and maybe fix? I mean, we talked about it growing quickly, it's maturing quickly, but any sort of clarion call you might have?
Yeah, I mean, we've probably talked a lot about this kind of slightly boring topic of kind of standardization of metrics across the industry. That's definitely something we need to talk about. It's a little bit of a dry subject, but it's probably one of the big keys to unlock, the further growth. There's lots of activity going on across, and we can see all the retailers you've had on stage today. Everyone's really plying the trade, trying to create a great combination of getting the right content in front of the right customers, measuring it and all that. So it's very much about that. But I think also what not all of us have kind of finalized yet is how do we get that balance between on-site and off-site reach together? We need to really harness the audiences. Some retailers are doing it better than others, dependent on the maturity of their retail media businesses, which you mentioned at the beginning. So that's probably something that I'd like to see as like more of a not a standardization of offering across on-site and off-site, but definitely so that everyone is clear in the industry what the role of the two things are.
Amazing, thank you. Very valid indeed. Massive round of applause for ASOS. Thank you very much.